Good morning, Tubes. Update on our nuclear futures here. So, there's a big sales pitch going on about artificial intelligence and nuclear and super duper control systems that are going to run these new nuclear plants. So, that is the only difference. They made the reactor sets smaller, period. Everything else, all the liabilities are the same. All the risks are the same. The mining pollutes the lands around it. The fuel has no place to go. And there are tens of thousands of fuel rods sitting across the nation. Every one of them is a potential waste site. It already is a waste site. But should it not be maintained or not taken care of, it is an explosion. And by an explosion, I don't mean a big boom. When nuclear explodes, when this fuel explodes, sometimes it's a long, slow process. It's a slow motion explosion. You would have to watch it over years as those fuel rods melt off and vaporize and release their emissions into the atmosphere. So that's what happens if you abandon these things, these current nuclear facilities. We've got dozens of them already going towards decommissioning, and a corporation is building itself up to buy these things because the profits are so obscene. So there is no life cycle in nuclear other than a short-term profit thing. Not a profit for generations, just a profit for right now that they can turn around and buy politicians with and pay for ignorance in our society. This is what they're bringing us. Really, think about it, folks. So, artificial intelligence. My first introduction to that was a control system in a world-class facility being built. This is where an instrument, somewhere in the process, sees a change, and somewhere else in the process, the system automatically corrects for that change. It adjusts a temperature, it adjusts a flow, it changes pressure settings for other downstream items, it changes timing. All software driven, huge layers of software. And this is from decades ago. This is from distributed control systems, high availability distributed with double or triple redundancy in hardware levels, let alone software levels, with shared real time memory and things going on real time. Asynchronous systems. This was my specialty out in the world. It's the reason why, when a corporation was laying off thousands of engineers, I was hired. So this shit's kind of serious. It's a matter of life and death when a robot's spinning around or when a control system is making a decision. So artificial intelligence, let's speak to what that is. That is us trying to mimic ourselves. We're trying to say, hey, the water pressure is too high. I think I'll turn the valve down. Those are feedback mechanisms we have. When we pull back from heat, that is a real-time system, little data collector running like a motherfucker in your hands, sensing temperature, feeding it back to your brain, and your brain makes your arms pull away. And most of this is not thought about. So there's artificial intelligence in a minor and nominal level. Bring this into database systems, a whole nother area I could discuss. I have a little bit of experience there as well. Large terabyte data sets. I've managed the services for them, the people for them, the analysts for them, the database experts for them. So artificial intelligence is merely our human mind trying to be put into other applications. What goes wrong with this? Well, look at Boeing's 737 aircraft. They have actually stopped releasing the plane. When they went back and looked at how atrocious their software was, their $7 software developers they were getting bargains for in not well managed systems and ISO systems. And so Boeing had to remove the plane because their software is so fucked up. I'll bet they can't understand it. I've seen this shit. I worked with it for decades and saw it get better and worse. So Go back and look. I called Boeing software bullshit. The plane made a decision to crash all by itself. That was a software failure. A failure multiple times. So yes, that plane got repulled, and I bet when professionals went and looked at the horseshit spaghetti they've got, it's like Microsoft's, from Microsoft Windows, from whoever played with assembly language, right? Before there were operating systems that you knew about. So yeah, artificial intelligence is merely us trying to mimic ourselves. It cannot do any more than we can do. It could do it faster. It might make better decisions because it can look at more decision points, depending on how big the mux is feeding data into it. How many bits do the A to D converters have on the decision points? How reliable is the instrument and the process? So artificial intelligence, what is it? It's you. It's us. It's what we've learned and what we're piling on. It's called a body of knowledge. There's massive places where people just know more than they probably need to. So this claim about artificial intelligence making nuclear safer is bullshit. Is absolute bullshit. Unless they're out into, oh, let's go for, you ever played big corporate quality stuff? Six Sigma analysis. That's the best they could, that's what they hoped for, and they were lucky to get to 2 in most of their useful applications of it. But there's folks out there that have done, 12 Sigma analysis. So it's what we do. We can prove how well we do it. Artificial intelligence. What brought this up is it's being pumped in the news. The Department of Energy just signed a contract with a private corporation to help them sell artificial intelligence, and you can see it because their first fucking press releases about artificial intelligence and how it's going to save the world. What it's going to do is replace people. The artificial intelligence I put in for the chemical plant took a 300 or 400 shift operation down to a dozen or 24 operators. That's artificial intelligence. It took away lots of very unsafe jobs and made a much better product. Artificial intelligence. I brought robot cells, work cells, and automation and conveyor systems into General Motors that replaced work cells that had 6 or 8 workers with 4 to 12 robots and maybe an electrician to maintain the robots now. So there's artificial intelligence. It replaced people. This Yang for president dude is an IT ego. The place is infested with them. They think they know something goddamn special and deserve to be heroes. But somebody with a lot of money made those people, helped make them. The IT people realize they need ultra high purity materials. They need research. They need our intelligence, our federal tax dollars, and the billions we give to make weapons and the fallout from that. We should be making good, and weapons are a side deal to making good, but that's not the way the budget appears to be going. Republican politics, even Democratic politics, wants us scared. What I'm afraid of is politics. That's the only thing I'm afraid of. The rest of it is life. Life is here. It's amazing, isn't it? But this politics stuff, this shallow thing based on beliefs, this prosperity gospel shit that's infested deeply since Reagan's time, it just burrowed itself into our government. It wants to own the community, the word community. So you either go to Uncle Sam for help or you go to the church down the street. Nothing against churches or the people in them. It's the ideas that come out of those places that are wrong. It's the beliefs that fester hatred, that fester, I know something special you don't know. Good luck, folks. Kids, vote. I can't say how important it is. Kids, vote. Use your artificial intelligence.